From the KATC Weatherland, here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, the heat came back on today, but still scattered storms across the area as expected. Yesterday's residual moisture in the atmosphere on the ground feeding some storms across the area this afternoon. But the trend after today, rain chances down and temperatures inching back upward. So let's take a look at the water vapor imagery here as that ridge of high pressure that's dominating the western U.S. with the high heat. Well, that's going to continue to supply more high heat there and expand eastward into Louisiana. So that's going to be the story as we head into, we'll say, the Tuesday through about Saturday time frame before we see a change in the pattern. And as we can see, high pressure pretty much at the surface out in the Gulf of Mexico and allowing for southwesterly winds. Severe weather on the periphery of that ridge of high pressure well to the north of us. But we've had a good scattering of storms firing up this afternoon on Power Doppler 3. And in fact, some pretty intense storms here that are moving through southern portions of Beauregard Parish. A lot of cloud to ground lightning right here. And we do have a, let's get to the warnings right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Calcasieu and also Beauregard Parish. And we'll see how long this is in effect to. This just came in till about 5:45 this afternoon, and mainly gusty, possibly damaging winds and some small hail with this cell as it continues to move generally to the south. So we'll get back to the Doppler here, and you can see pretty intense action with a lot of cloud to ground lightning showing up. As we go farther to the east, scattered activity for our friends in Pine Prairie, north and west of Ville Platte and over by Mamou, and with scattered activities we get into Acadia Parish, mainly the southern portion of the parish south of I-10, but we have a cell north and west of Iota. And just in the last 20 minutes or so, a nice thunderstorm firing up on the southeast side of town from East Calise Saloon Road to East Bayou Parkway, Vero School Road, and as we go down Evangeline Thruway, Highway 90, you can see some locally heavy downpours, and just about reaching the Broussard area, you're hearing the thunder and it looks dark to the north and west of you. And there's some cloud to ground lightning with this cell. Good, nice thunder shower here. That's probably going to put down a ½ inch to an inch of rain, and a few more scattered showers as we get into Iberia St. Mary Parish, the heaviest of which is in Iberia, edging into St. Mary Parish between Jeanerette and the Olivier area, just south and east of New Iberia. Looks like you'll miss out on this cell, but we'll run the risk of some rain chances for the next few hours, but it's going to quiet down later on tonight. Moving ahead to tomorrow, the heat advisory continues. The heat indices up to 113, and as we open it on up, we have those excessive heat warnings in the west, heat advisories covering much of the U.S., and in the brown, air quality alerts for all the fires that are ongoing up here in Canada. But that smoke is working its way through the Midwest and the Northeast, so that's where the smoke is going to be. We don't see much of that around here locally. Again, you can see some strong storms, supercell storms busting out across the nation's midsection. Tropics quiet in the Caribbean. We'll say the Gulf. It's a little bit busier in the eastern Pacific. We still have subtropical depression Don out here holding on, looping out in the North Atlantic, but it's not going to do anything. And a pretty good looking tropical wave coming off the African coast. We're going to keep an eye on that wave as models pick up on it and maybe try to develop it with time. So there's Don, there's the tropical wave, but also want to draw your attention to what changes here on the Gulf Coast. Notice the red comes in. That's going into Saturday, so a little bit of a frontal trough moves in, and that should translate to a pretty good chance of showers and storms. Meanwhile, we track that tropical wave all the way to the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, say a week from Thursday, 10 days down the road. So maybe a change in the pattern as we go into next week, where at least we start seeing tropical waves and maybe a little bit more easterlies. But near term, it's quiet. Temperatures back into the upper 90s, heat indices up there. And again, absence of any green on here means rain chances down to about 5%. in the days ahead. Highs tomorrow, upper 90s to near 100 Alexandria, 101 in Leesville, near 100 in DeRidder, mid to upper 90s I-10 corridor, 98 in Cecilia, and mid to upper 90s along the coast. Exception right near the coast, Cameron topping out near 90 degrees. That heat index once again up there to 111 or so, and that height of afternoon heating again between about 11 a.m. and noon. We have those heat indices greater than 105 till about, say, 6 or 7 11 p.m. So again, another rough day of high temperatures. Again, we're in our 6th week of this heat wave that dates back to the first week of June. 78 the overnight low tonight, so back to sultry nights after any showers dissipate early. Then tomorrow we'll see temperatures rising back up to 96 to 98 tomorrow. Heat indices up to 110 to 113, so another hot one across the area. And as we move into the 10-day forecast, 97 looks wild, followed by 98 Friday, Saturday. Storms come back in late Saturday. Maybe a pretty good chance of storms Sunday, Monday, which could limit our highs to the lower 90s, and maybe, just maybe, one day we'll see high temperatures in the upper 80s, but no promises there quite yet.
It's good to even hear.
No promises quite there yet, but maybe a little bit of a change of the pattern come later this weekend.
All righty, we'll take that.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin.